On today's segment is Andy Simon, corporate anthropologist, author, president and CEO of Simon Associates Management Consultants. Today's topic is why CEOs should get out of the corner office. Thanks for sharing with us.
CEOs often come to us interested in how anthropology can help their organization, their business, or their corporation. But they're not really quite sure what a corporate anthropologist is or does, or why it could help them. So I often have to start with, let me tell you about how anthropology can be applied in a corporate setting. First, what's anthropology anyway? Well, over the last 100 years, anthropology emerged as a study of culture and society, often small-scale ones. But in the last 50 years, it has been applied to complex societies, factories, manufacturing plants, corporations in the United States and globally. And applying it has opened up enormous opportunity for people to go exploring. Now, CEOs can think that an anthropologist trained in the field should come and do it with them or for them. We are urging CEOs to get out of their corner office and either come with us or go by themselves. What we often find is that there are a variety of ways it can help. The four I like to get them to think about is their culture. Anthropologists study culture. What are the values, beliefs, and behaviors that bring us together as a group? And often a CEO is responsible for worrying about that corporate culture. Often they don't know what it is. So we have a methodology for actually diagnosing that culture so they can see it and see how all of their employees think about it, and also how they would prefer it. The Organizational Cultural Assessment Instrument, developed at the University of Michigan, is an excellent tool for that. The second thing is strategy. They're going to say, how can an anthropologist help with strategy? Well, all too often, the strategy is developed by the senior leadership or management, and somehow they hope that the rest of the organization is living it. The rest of the organization is trying to figure out what it is they're supposed to be living. They can hardly figure out what the words mean, much less whether they're on strategy or not. So by conducting anthropological research, the CEO with the anthropologist or by himself or herself can begin to understand how people are living that strategy, making it happen. The third area where it's very valuable is in the design, the build, and the development of products, services, and solutions, including branding and marketing, but really understanding how the products are working or not and where it could work better. And the last area is in how to organize that company so that it really gets the job done. While we started with culture, we're ending with also the behaviors that people do to actually get the daily work done can often be extremely valuable. I often report, like, Undercover Boss did a great job of making anthropology better understood. But what happens if you went out and actually saw what was going on? What could you learn? As a CEO, now this isn't delegating to others, but it's yours. So it becomes something that you can embrace as part of a way of seeing, feeling, and thinking about your business with fresh eyes.
Can you give us an illustration of how getting out of the corner office helped a business or a CEO?
Well, one of my favorite client stories, and there are 7 of them in our book, is about the battery company EAC Integrated Power Solutions. And Mark Schmidt is a wonderful illustration of this. Mark brought us in after 3 years of no growth. They made great batteries. It was before the recession hit in 2008, but he wasn't quite sure why he was having such a hard time growing. So he stepped out of his corner office and at times came exploring with us. We went to many of his clients, but we didn't meet with the people that we usually talk to, like purchasing or engineering. We went and we talked to the CEO or the CFO, or we actually spent some time on some of their manufacturing floors, and we began to listen to the kinds of things that really mattered to them. And in one case, the gentleman we were talking to said to Mark, can't you do it faster? Speed to market really matters. Now I share that with you because it was a little dot. Mark said to him and to me afterwards, well, they give us the specifications and we build it to their specs. We're not late. What does he mean by speed to market? In another case, I asked the gentleman, who's your competitor? We build batteries, thinking it was pretty much a commodity. And then if we did theirs, it would be fine. He said, no, we'll fire you. Power is our competitive advantage. And Mark and I talked and I said, did you know power was a competitive advantage? And he said, I've never seen the product really working. We build batteries. Now I can take you through a whole slew of stories like that. But what Mark basically began to understand was that he didn't build batteries at all. One of the folks finally said it in a way that changed his whole thinking. He said, no, Mark, what we need is lighter, longer, stronger power solutions. And I always say that to people because it wasn't a battery at all that they wanted. And Mark came out of that saying, oh my gosh, it's not the battery, it's power solutions. Out of that came a whole repositioning of the company, and he did extremely well. So he will tell you that it wasn't what he was doing that was wrong, but he wasn't listening very well either. And he listened to people that he needed to serve, the engineering and the purchasing, but he also understood that now he had to go sit and listen to the CEOs and the CMOs and the R&D with whole new ears. It was a time for stepping back and looking at the business with fresh eyes.
Any closing thoughts?
I tried to make it easy for them. In one case, I asked them to sit on the telephone and listen to the calls coming through. That turned into a big new business. In another case, I encouraged them to do lunch and listens. Go out, don't sell anything, just listen. In a third case, listen to what customers are saying that starts with the word what if. There's simple little ways for the CEO stepping out of their corner office to begin to understand that customers are telling them things. Stop walking away from them. Start to listen. They want you to help them. They just don't know how to tell it to you. So it's a very interesting process, not hard to do, but you need to get out of the office and start exploring.
Thank you so much for sharing your insights today. And be sure to watch our full video series on how corporate anthropology can help your business.